Our goal with building this fund was also to develop the ecosystem and show to the investors and financial actors that this sort of instrument is really working and needed. Hi, my name is Ivana Stancic. I'm coming from Smart Kolektiv, which is a Serbian non-profit organization dedicated to development of social innovation and social entrepreneurship and corporate social responsibility. For the last 4 years, we have been working on setting up the first impact fund in Serbia. We are proud that last year we managed to launch the first social impact fund.
So I'm Renata Brkic from Croatia. I'm the founding partner of Feelsgood. Feelsgood is a social impact investment fund for Croatia and Slovenia. My background is entrepreneurial. I'm a serial entrepreneur, business angel and investor. I have always been running impactful businesses, and this is what led me to the finance industry as well.
But when we started developing it 4 years ago, the offer that social enterprises and social startups in particular had on the market were quite limited to only grants or to one bank. And what we have learned from listening to them and for doing different analyses is that there is a huge lack of funding. Like 80 or 90% of them says that funding it's one of the key problems, and especially funding which is tailored to different stages of development of the social enterprises. Most of the social enterprises or startups don't have collateral in the first few years of their work, and most of the banks on the other hand are looking for some collateral or looking for some results which enterprises in these phases of development don't have. Another problem is that available finance instruments are not tailored in the terms that are soft enough. There are different debates on the European level and regional level how soft these instruments should be. If we take into account that social enterprises are really specific because they are bringing solutions to the social challenges, environmental challenges, and they have to balance all the time their impact with their profitability, we really advocate for having more soft instruments for them because they can really help them scale their business operation while scaling their impact and not having to choose between one another because they have a pressure to give back the finance instruments. So that's why we believe in tailored finance instruments for social enterprises. Third problem is that in this country and the CE region, more impact funds are offering like 150 to 200,000 euros and above investments. And what we saw from practice is that enterprises lack access to smaller amounts of finance, like up to 100,000 euros. And basically there are no players offering them tailored financing in that area. So our mission was also to develop the finance instrument that will answer to this need. In general, social entrepreneurship and social finance market in not only in Serbia but the whole Western Balkan regions, I think it's in very early stage of development. Looking from the supply side, from the finance perspective, Serbia is very bank-centered market. I think 97% of all financing is going through the bank. And the reason behind it is because basically the legislative environment is not allowing any other non-banking financial institution or microfinancial institution to work here within the legislation that we have. So because it's very early market, social entrepreneurship is not really recognized still within the state legal ecosystem, and many social enterprises are also waiting for more favorable legislation for the social entrepreneurship. And we have been also very active in the past 10 years working on the social enterprise law here in Serbia. There were several initiatives and drafts, but we considered them as not favorable for really developing the ecosystem. They were rather narrowing the term and the topic only on employment and working within the Ministry for Employment. And we now really want to work with the Ministry of Economy and Ministry of Environment and all other ministries to join and build partnership because we see social entrepreneurship as a cross-sector topic.
Actually, the fund is meant for Croatia and Slovenia, that are two neighboring countries. Once the two countries belong to Yugoslavia, and we are like a natural partners in business and in life. So the capitals are just 1 hour driving. And when we were putting the idea and designing a fund, we decided to go for these two countries. We started in 2016, 17, and there were two different situations in these two countries. Slovenia was very advanced, one of the most advanced EU members in the social economy, circular economy. They were already thinking blockchain at that time. And this was thanks to the dedicated, but really dedicated and top-notch policymakers, individuals, government officials who were pushing for that. It was possible for them because Slovenia was a member of the EU since 2005, and they had access to funds, to policy making for 10 years already. While we in Croatia were late to the EU, some 10 years late. So once we entered in 2013, only now, by the end of this decade, the results can be seen. At that time, in a country operating in an environment where there was no policy making, no government support, and we couldn't rely on it. So we really had, but on the other hand, we had great individuals. We had partners, NGOs, academics who already then were aware that impact is coming. They were involved with the SDGs and who were pushing for the subject. So it was actually, this could happen because it was a collaborated effort of the individuals from business people and academics in Croatia, I would say, and NGOs. And then government policy making backed individuals from Slovenia. And this was the starting point, and we were really cooperating well.